Recently, I've been learning a bit more about characterization and just how to establish a character's history and backstory and mindset without having to explicitly say that. And it's crazy because as soon as I get into this, I see an episode of Edd N Eddy that made me question everything that I possibly knew about the Kanker Sisters. As a kid, watching Edd N Eddy, even somewhat as an adult, I just thought the Kanker Sisters were just weird, super like horny girls that just wanted to just kiss the Eds. They just had cooties. I thought they were just hormonal monsters. But it turns out the Kanker Sisters went through some pretty fucked up shit. And the way that they're dealing with this is pretty fucking like, it's unsettling. This is honestly one of the more crazier things I've ever fucking like discovered. If you don't want your childhood ruined or any like perspectives like changed, don't watch this video. But if you want to get down to some shit, watch this. We're gonna go into the dark story of the Kanker Sisters. So we're gonna react to this episode together, and this is honestly just gonna be some like crazy stuff. So let's go ahead and get into it. The episode that kind of has this crazy lore is called Nagged to Ed. It's the very second episode of Edd N Eddy. It's in the pilot episode. It's the second part of it. So do each of those mini parts count as an episode? Or are they just segments? I never know. But it's the second part of the first fucking episode. So that's what it is. They're going off into the woods to go ahead and discover some bugs and stuff like that because Double D just wants to understand nature and all that shit because he's a science nerd. Big spider web, I'd be freaked out too. My first thing going through that, right, when I first like saw this, the first thing I was thinking of like, oh, that's clearly a reference to fucking Macbeth, right? How those three fucking witches were in that fucking forest or in that weird desolate place, and they were gonna they're gonna tempt Macbeth, this young promising man, with all this other shit, and that eventually led to his downfall. That's what I thought this was referencing. But I think they just sit in the woods and whisper niggas' names. They've been stalking the Eds for a minute, honestly. The look of fear in these three young boys' faces is fucking crazy. They look like they have seen God. All right, this is crazy. So they're just trying to run from the Kanker Sisters. Perfectly understandable. Just run away from voices you hear in the woods. Honestly, I would blame them if they went to go investigate it. You hear voices in the woods, you run. Anyone that's like, I'm gonna go check that out, you're stupid. They're smart. This is why they have a hit show. And your life expectancy is like 30 minutes. Hope you like our dad's robes. So this is the shit that got me. She said our dad's robes, right? Not our dad's robes, but our dad's robes. Watch this. One robe is named Bubba. One is Rod. And one is Butch. There are three different fathers. They have those Kanker sisters, they're only sisters by their mother. They're half sisters.
We're the Kanker Sisters. We just moved in.
Now, they just moved in, but they're in the trailer park too. So they're not financially well off, right? Everyone else is cul-de-sac kids. They're in the suburbs. They can go play outside. Their parents got 401ks, all that stuff. The Kanker Sisters are in a very, like, impoverished area. So the Kanker Sisters are just saying that they're, you know, they're taking care of them. So now we look at these paintings, right? These girls have kind of, you know, planned out their future with these boys. You know, May and Double D are dating, Lee and Eddie are together and things like that. Right? And they're super antsy to take care of them. So it just seems like they're just kind of obsessed with them, right? Like they just have a very huge crush like, you know, most middle schoolers do. But we're gonna get into some shit.
Nice space helmet. Take me to your plumber.
Come and get some nice, cold, delicious powdered milk.
So, you know, the sisters are out here just being super nice to them, taking care of them and all that stuff. Drinking powdered milk, which I don't understand how that's a thing.
It's so nice to have the boys home.
This isn't their home. They've never been here. And where does she learn to speak that way? So now these men in their dad's robe are eating this like very like warm and loving home cooked meal that the sisters have prepared for them. And they're just fawning over them.
Oh, Dreamy.
right? This just seems like natural crush stuff. Once again, as a kid, you won't get this shit. If you were a kid like me, all this shit went over your head, right? It is clear that their fathers are not in their life. That is a tiny fucking like trailer that they're in, right? It's 2 stories, whatever. Their fathers left their fucking lives, right? And they witnessed their mother take care of each of these men and try to keep them around as much as possible. That is their only understanding of how love works. This is only going to be further proven from this point on in this video, because everything you're about to see is about to be an allegory to how fucked up it is being a child of a single mother and what that means for your definition of love and shit like that. So get ready. The girls come down freshened up and they're just watching TV, and you see they're fawning over them, but the men in the dad's robes aren't paying attention, you see? And the girls are getting more progressively annoyed that their feelings aren't being reciprocated.
Catch you whenever I want, buddy boy.
See, now it's getting a bit more aggressive. Once again, this is how they saw their mom take care of all of those men. But like, you know, making them a meal, making sure they're comfy, washing their clothes, and all they want is just a little bit of attention, a little bit of like just love, a little bit of like that romance. And the men are just busy. Their fathers were just busy sitting out eating food and watching TV. So now they're taking the role of their role of their mother, where they're like, oh, I did all this for you. I can touch you. I can love you if I want. The Eds don't notice that. They're just like, wait, what? What's going on? They're just chilling. They just thought they're just being nice.
Everything's fine.
If you ever hear any woman that you're in a relationship with, or any woman in your life at all, tell you it's fine, you know that it is not fine at all. So now they're doing what their mother did. You know, the men are like, their dads were watching TV, so the woman gets in front of the TV and is like, you're gonna pay attention to me. Move it.
Good enough that we've worked hard and broken our backs for you.
If things don't change around here, we're leaving.
It's time you good for nothing started to pull our own weight around here.
All of this does not add up. The Eds just got here. They don't know anything about it. They're like, oh, you know, we're not good enough for you. We work all day. We do all this and you can't even give us a little bit of attention and stuff like that. It's time for you to start pulling your weight. This is a tale of an angry mother fed up with 3 of her husbands. 3 of them, each at a time, failing her and not even trying to reciprocate or help her out or do anything to show that they care about this woman. So she's fed up at this point. The Eds are also like, what's up with them? About time you start pulling your own weight around here insinuates that they've been here before and they've been here for a long time and haven't done anything to help them or let the mother or the Kanker sisters feel appreciated. And that's incorrect because they're new here. Usual Edd N Eddy antics ensue. You heard what she just said? You sailors are all alike. They're not sailors. They're literally just middle school kids that just be trying to make a buck.
Should go back to diving for clams.
And that's where the helmet's from. One of the husbands was a sailor, or was like a scuba diver that was diving for clams for money or as a hobby. So when they finally snap back and saying, hey, stop messing with us, they're like,
This is the thanks we get for our hard work.
so now when the men are angry and frustrated and stuff like that and finally like snap at the woman like, get off my back, then they feel attacked, they feel threatened. When the man gets assertive, the woman like cries. When the man is getting more physically active, when the husbands are getting more physically active and aggressive, the women then feel threatened and unappreciated, and to a point a little bit just disappointed and sad, knowing that their mother, the Kanker sisters' mother, did all of this, and the husbands couldn't even be there and sit there and suck it up to help them out and do anything like that, and just caught attitudes with them and were very aggressive with them.
Haven't you done enough damage already? Now get out of here and never come back.
This is their mother kicking each of the husbands out of the house for constantly fucking for constantly screwing over the mother, screwing over the mom, right? The Ed boys, the way I took this as a kid is, oh, you've done enough already, get out. It's because they destroyed the house. They made a mess of everything. But no, it's because the damage that they've done to the mother, to the wife, has been something that's unrepairable. And they just can't deal with that.
Well, you heard her. Let's go.
This has been quite educational.
Hello, freedom. Ah!
And they're already outside. When the men are like, all right, fine, we'll leave. The woman's like, no, you ain't going nowhere.
What about Eddie? Junior.
What about our kids? You ain't going nowhere. What about these kids? And then they're like, oh shit, kids? Nope. It's like, I ain't taking care of no kids with you. Then they run off. Here's the line.
Oh, look at them run. Just like a real man.
They saw their fathers running out on them, and that's what they think men are supposed to do. That's what they think love is, a man running from you. Because all their lives, they saw their mom try to bring men into her life, and those men did nothing but abuse her, run away from her, and run away from any responsibility that had to deal with them. And that's the shit they idolize. That shit's crazy, right?